minutes, Earle DePass.
Thank you. I remember it like it was yesterday. It really was 50 years ago, half a century, and I was in love. Yeah, this beautiful girl with wonderful curly Goldilocks hair fascinated me. I wanted to reach out and touch. Madam Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters and guests, even though I sat 3 seats beside her in school, I didn't have a cell phone then to text her to tell her how I felt. So I did the next best thing. I followed her home. At 10 years old, I was the perfect stalker. And yes, I was in love. And she told me how she felt with, "I'll slap you across your face." And while she didn't, it hurt. Because at that moment, I knew something was wrong. Fast forward 10 years, I was into the disco age in the 1970s. Yeah, I had a huge afro, huge platform shoes, and I was smoking hot. I then met the disco queen that I thought would be for me. Her name was Dawn. And you know, the first lady, I wanted to write in my diary that I was 10 and she was, I wanted to write gorgeous, but I couldn't spell it back then. But with Dawn, I could. And she was gorgeous, and I really thought she was for me. I thought this was it. I was set for life. Only to find a few moments later, 2 million moments later, she ran off with my best friend. For the second time in my life, I was crushed. I was hurt. Maybe this was the end, but it wasn't. I was very pleased to meet my wife 10 years later. Beautiful woman. I didn't have to spell gorgeous for her. She knew that I really loved her. 3 children later, life was good, fantastic. Minutes were flying by, and I was on top of the world. Till I got the call from my mother, who said, "Earle, I have to have an operation." My life, I thought, was over. The woman who nursed me, who provided me soup when I really didn't want to go to school, may have had something different. I was worried that hysterectomy would not be the final problem, but the cancer and the treatments, I thought, could hurt. Would she survive? It was okay that we had 2 other siblings, and that would be the end. No more. I'm happy to tell you that she is one of the few cancer survivors that I know about. Fortunately, a few years later, she was there with my dad at church, and he couldn't quite get the car into gear. Luckily, she knew the signs of a stroke. The man who taught me how to drive, who gave me the talk about the birds and the bees, and taught me how to fish, I thought he may never be the same again. Fortunately, with a wife who knows the signs of a stroke and miracle drugs, I'm happy to tell you that this year they will celebrate 60 years of marriage. I am indeed blessed. Our 4th child, a Springer Spaniel, did not have the Goldilocks hair of my first pretty, gorgeous friend. She doesn't eat off the table, and she did not sleep in our beds. But she knew how much we cared for her. She lasted 17 years, and for the time she was with us, she was a part of our family. Why do I mention this, folks? For the 2 lovely people in my life, I had the opportunity to tell them how I feel. My Goldilocks friend immaturity, time, did not allow me to do that. I think of the times where it said, let's get together sometime. That means absolutely nothing. The Christmas card you never sent. The text message that you wanted to tell someone how you felt about them. The phone call you never made are all lost moments in time. Why not reach out and tell the loved ones while you can how much you care? Do you know how many minutes you have left? I wish I knew. I don't have a clue. I couldn't tell my curly Goldilocks friends how much I cared for her. I couldn't tell our fourth child how much we cared for her, but she knew. Please, don't make the same mistakes that I did. Reach out and tell people how much you love them while you still can. Don't put off today what you might not do tomorrow. It's been said that life is like a bowl of cherries. You never know what you might get. Why would you wait? Take the time. Don't let the minutes slip through your fingers like sand through the hourglass of time. Enjoy every minute you have. Don't let the minutes slip away. Madam Contest Chair.